Welcome to the Natural Genius podcast. We're here to help you tap into your natural genius. Let's go. You're about to hear from Sarah Jade Green, and I am so excited to reunite with her. I met her when she was a snowboarder at Mount Hotham, and she's an impressive creative, a great people leader. Her background is in brand strategy and creative for a lot of impressive retail brands in Australia. Since we caught up, she's become a yoga teacher and started her Margaret Studio with her partner. She's just a really lovely human, aware, wise, kind, and inspiring. And I think she often does interesting things. So lovely to be around. I hope you enjoy. Sarah Jade, welcome to the Natural Genius podcast.
Thank you. So nice to see you.
I just think it's wonderful how many things you have going in life. And gosh, when you, what do they say, screech towards the end of your life and handbrake into the grave kind of thing with lots of life well lived, that's you, it seems.
It's just too fast, too furious somehow. Yeah.
My God, I love that. We've got a visual going on already.
Yeah.
And also I love that I imagine, and we've not worked together, but I imagine you'd be a great people leader. Tell me about what you love about leading people or what drives you to, and is it a sort of natural ability or is there some sort of something that drives you to enjoy doing that?
It snuck up on me. I didn't think I would be a manager of people, and I kind of just got thrown into it. I was working somewhere where the creative manager was on mat leave, so they needed someone to lead them, and I just kind of started what I think of as like helping, like I do that, like you don't really know, so I'll try and help you, and I just started doing that, and then it kind of meant that I was like just naturally mentoring people and showing them how to do things. I like kind of being efficient, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, you could do that a lot faster. Let's do that faster. So then, we can finish for the day and then we've done it. It's great. But I just and from there it developed, and I had a really good learning and development partner who kind of taught me roughly how to manage. And that really helped, like to give me the actual blueprint of that instead of just like organically.
Oh, wow. Got any tips? What was the things that really resonated?
A thing called situational leadership, and I think it's a framework. I have looked it up before, and there's like 4 little squares, and it explains like when the person's first learning something and they're really like excited. And she explained it in a snowboarding way, which is hilarious. So she's like, think of it like you're at the top of the mountain and it's your first day snowboarding or skiing, and you're like, keen beans, you are ready to get down that hill.
Keen beans.
Got it. I'm there. I'm in the vision because I like snowboard, obviously. And then she's like, yeah. And then you get to part 2 and you're like more on your butt than you are actually going down the hill. Like you're rolling down the hill, you're falling over, you've had it, you don't want to do it anymore. It's the worst idea you've ever had. So that's when like the manager would show up and be like, yes, you can do it. Let's do it. And then you get to part 3 and you're starting to get it. And that's where like the manager would kind of be pulling back a bit and being like, oh yeah, they're kind of getting it. Might just pop in here and there and be like, oh, just, yeah, a little bit there, a little bit. Yeah, cheerleader. Oh, but back off a bit. And then when you get to part 4, they should be kind of like fluent in what it is you're trying to teach them. And so you should be hitting it, getting down that slope, like without someone showing you and helping you. And that kind of stuck with me because I was like, it takes the edge off showing someone something that they don't know, because you know how people kind of feel like they're in trouble or something, so they get defensive. But if you say to them like, I didn't know how to do that thing and someone showed me, I want to show you, and you explain that like little visual, it just takes the edge off, and they're like, yeah, I could learn that. And it's okay when they like stuff it up and you're like, oh, that wasn't quite right, like let's try again. I'll show you again. Yeah, so I just kind of used that, and it made me less kind of confronting as a manager, I think, to come in on that angle of like, I'm trying to show you. And also I will approach it like, because the new ones come up and they've learned all this new stuff. I mean, I learned print design mainly, not digital design technically. And I just added it on later. And I've learned from these younger designers as we go, like motion design. I'm always like, oh, what's that? What are you doing there? Like trying to learn it as well. So it's like we're swapping skills.
How fun is that?
It's nice. But yeah, I just kind of got into it like that. And then working through bigger businesses, like having 20, 30 designers reporting into you, so many different personality types, and trying to figure out how to communicate to different personality types was really interesting. But once you get through to them, like the person that is the most different to you, you initially feel like, oh, that's really hard and I don't want to do it. But that's actually the person you learn most from, because they're so different. So I don't know, if you approach that with curiosity, that actually ends up being a really big learning for you as well, because you're both so different. And if you can both come at it like, and actually name how different you are, that helps. Like I've done it with someone, I'm thinking of someone really specifically that we both were like, we are so different. How are we going to do this? And we just had to figure it out. And yeah, I just like helping people, because at the end of it, they're better at their job, and they don't just learn things about their job, they learn things about like how to approach people and like stakeholder management, and like just in life, like how to approach people with like curiosity instead of being like, oh, that person's different to me and I don't talk to them. Like there's also people in the business that are so different and you're going to have to work with them. You've got to figure it out, instead of for the younger ones, they're like keyboard warriors and they'll be like, oh, I was telling this person off, and I'm like, were you though? Like, could you get up and talk to them about it, and maybe that would be better so you could work together? Like, yeah. Does that answer the question?
Oh, it so does. I absolutely love your response too, because not knowing each other that well, but having an affinity and an awe of each other, perhaps, it's nice to kind of put some more flesh on the bone. And tell me, because I have a feeling that you might have a bit of ambition in your belly. It's a lovely combination, because if you're caring about other people and curious, and you love learning, obviously.
Yeah.
I think that's a real, and maybe also this retail, that you've been working in Australian retail, that's, dare I say it, Sarah Jade, you're the person that would know the answer to this, but it feels like you would need to be a personable person to be able to work in that industry.
Yeah, I think so. It's really fast paced. So it kind of puts you, what is the best way to say this? Like it puts you in your like most edge of where you can be in a business. Like, you know, when you're like really rushed and it's really urgent, it's like that, but dial it up to like 110. And so when people are like that, they tend to then flip into being like really short and like, you know, and then people can argue. And so you've got to find a way to be like, we're up against it, and how we're going to come together to make this work. Yeah.
One of the first guests I had on this podcast was Lisa Gamboni, and she talks about big buckets of cold water so that you can, and she also talks about inflammation, which I love, because inflammation, we're so used to hearing that with respect to health these days. And she just talked about you can't get anywhere in an inflamed system. And you and I have both worked in pretty intense environments. And I love, as you were describing, as you were talking just then, I was just feeling like how zen you might be. And I was thinking, yes, go, you good thing. The many buckets of cold water is possibly something that you've been able to create for others to be able to just zen out the situation.
A lot of people have kind of said like, oh, you're always so calm. And I'm like, oh, am I? Because like on the inside, I'm like, oh my God, how are we going to get this done? But if I portray that to everyone, then they're going to freak out. So I've got to just be really calm.
Oh my God, I've totally had the same. I had this gorgeous, when I was putting on do lectures in Australia, I had this friend over in the UK, and he had no idea what was going on. And he was like, oh my God, you made it look so good. And I had no idea you were so stressed. And he just was like, you're like a swan within. I'm going, yeah. And under the water, it was so
a little
crazy.
Going, yeah.
And I've got to really acknowledge, I really wanted to talk into a bit more about this portfolio career or diversified career these days. It seems to be this kind of like a natural way of doing things. And I love how you were a university or might still be teacher, and at the same time as running other roles. And tell me, I mean, you've just described how you love learning. It must be, impressive to be able to run a whole lot of things at the same time. But tell me more about the portfolio career these days.
Yeah, it's definitely something like I used to describe myself as like just a serial freelancer, and I guess I still am. And it was just something I did even at the end of my like RMIT course that I did at TAFE. I was just freelancing right at the end. I had this really great teacher who was a mentor, and she connected me with people in industry, and like I still know her now. I like recently went out and met her at her house at lunch, and she made lunch for us, and then we went out and picked flowers in her garden, and we just came home with all these big bouquets of flowers. And she was one of the first people that was really kind to me and really helped me get my foot in the door with design. But I just always freelanced, like just always freelancing somewhere along the line. Even like I would do like maybe mat leave cover contracts. I might be working someone permanently. But then in the background, I was always just doing bits and pieces of work for different people that I knew. Like it kind of starts with like friends of friends, and then friends of friends of friends of friends. And then it just snowballs into like different people kind of knowing that you'll do like a little logo for a small business down the street or something. Then you might do their website, you know, because that started happening as well. Like that, I'm showing how old I am. But yeah, we originally would be a business card and a logo, and then suddenly it was everyone wanted a website. So I had to learn how to do that. I had to learn how to code and figured it all out. But now I've been doing this for 16 years, which is wild. I don't know where the time's gone. But yeah, I most recently was doing a contract job, and then I got invited by one of my old lecturers to teach at RMIT into the same course that I learnt in. So I was like, there's a weird, like, yeah, full 360 sort of thing going on. And yeah, so I taught 3D packaging design, which is really heavily like finished art for print. And I've just noticed when the younger ones are coming into the office that they just don't know much finished art anymore, which is the complete opposite of what I knew. I was all about finished art, all about print, and not much about digital because we didn't really learn it. It was so long ago. I had to learn it later on. So I really wanted to set about like teaching them and making sure they get it, because once you get finished art, it's just a process, and you can just be like, you do it. You can be creative, and then you've got to put your finished art process. And my brain's a little bit like that. I like to make up little processes, and I see patterns in things, which people have said that that's like my weird superpower, that I can see this in things and be like, to resolve that, you could just create like a template. And every time we had to resolve that sort of problem, we'd grab the template, put different colors in, different photos, off you go. And I think it comes back to knowing finished art. I'm jumping around a little bit, but so the other thing
perfect. I'm so fascinated, and we're going to talk about AI at some stage soon.
Yes. And so there's that aspect of what I was doing. I've actually just finished teaching because I've been asked to kind of start the creative function in-house at the brand I'm working in at Village Cinemas. So I'm starting a whole new creative department, and I couldn't really say no to that because it's such a huge opportunity to do. But in the third thing that I've been doing with my partner, actually, he got made redundant last year in May, and I randomly went snowboarding in Japan and broke my wrist in February. And I had to have 2 surgeries, and my second surgery was in June. So we're like, oh my God, what are you going to do to pay the rent? Because I couldn't work for a little while, and he just got made redundant like a month out from my next surgery. So because he's a copywriter and I'm background in design, we just started working together, and we'd worked together at another business. So we knew we could do it, and it was kind of out of necessity. And we were like, we'll just start doing it, and we'll see what clients we can get. And we just started doing that because we needed to. And then we decided, oh, this is actually working. Like, people are coming to us. Like, we've both been in industry around the same amount of time. We know enough people, and they're like, oh, you're doing your own thing. That's great. And so we've branded it and now registered it at the end of last year, like properly through an accountant. So we're like adults now, you know.
Yeah, it's so funny the things that we say. We're an adult now.
Yeah, we're proper adults because we paid a professional to register our business. So yeah, we've been doing that since, like, officially since December. And Tyler came up with a name for it because we live on Margaret Street. So it's called Margaret Studio.
Oh, I wonder if it might have been an ode to a parent at all, or
Oh yeah, a lot of people have
Street.
asked that. Yeah, why is it Margaret? It's because the street we live on. So we're like, we'll just say that's because we're doing it in our house, in our little office. So yeah.
Oh, I love that for you. And tell me about the other things that you've been up to. So there was yoga teacher training in there at some stage. Have you still continued with that?
Well, because I broke my wrist in the February of 2025 and I did the yoga teacher training in, I think it was the September, October of 2024. It's kind of on the back burner because I broke it and then I needed 2 surgeries. So they put the plate in and then my body was like, no, thank you. And we had to wait for the bone to heal and then they had to take it out. And so it was a whole 6 months sort of ordeal. And I could only really start doing yoga in September of last year. So I've only really just come back and not being able to exercise for that long and like I'm 40 now. It takes a bit to come back from that.
Yeah, it was lovely actually. I just had a guest on Friday and he was talking about Travis Elliott, who's one of the yoga teachers. And I find that when I don't feel very fit, I'll come back to his, and yoga's just always there. It's a nice platform from which to support life and exercise and I've
been doing it. I was trying to think because I knew we'd probably talk about it. And I was like, I think I've been doing it since I was in year 11. I must have been 16 or 17.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I just was always, when I started to have to do exams, I'd get really panicked. And I can't even remember who told me that I should go to yoga, but that's what I did. And it really grounds me and stops a lot of that nervous energy that I just kind of naturally have. And that's what I've just continued to do. And that's why, because the yoga teacher training came up at this point where I'd accepted a redundancy and I was like, I may as well just go and do some things. And I didn't really have much of an intent to teach. Like I'm sure that I could because I kind of like mentoring people and teaching people. But it was more that I wanted to understand like the history of yoga and like a bit more about it, because I've come at it from a like doing the poses point of view instead of like anything about it. And there's so much more to it, like when you get into like what all the different meanings are. And like the movement is just such a tiny slice of it. So I really wanted to get in there and learn more about why it makes me feel so good. And it makes so much more sense. And I've got like such like a deeper practice now. And I used to hate going to like a yin or a restorative because I'm like, can we like get into it so I can feel good like at the end and lay down? But now I like the opposite. I really like to go to a restorative and just do something really slow and then lay down at the end. And like you've been kind of laying the whole time. And it's just very relaxing. It's the best way to put myself in my body, I guess, because I'm so like what I've just described before. I'm just like doing everything. And then I'm like, oh, I'm doing too much. I need to get back in.
I was saying to somebody recently that when I used to do a lot of yoga at a great studio in South Melbourne, and that was Ashtanga Vinyasa. And so somebody described it as really yang. And at the time I was like yang with my work. I was just getting lots of stuff done. And they were like, probably should have been maybe some restorative. Yeah, exactly. So that's really stuck in my mind.
But I get that though, because once you're on that energy, then you kind of do everything in that energy. And then suddenly you hit a wall and then you've got to do the opposite.
We're such funny humans. I think you would be amazing at teaching. I also think that yoga is you've described it well. I think it's really amazing how it's not just about the postures. And sometimes when I can't do it, or times in my life where injury or other things has meant that I couldn't, I always still felt like it was still with me. Like I felt like I still had this lovely baseline or awareness or feeling that I was still doing it, which always sort of surprised me that I would have that feeling.
Yeah, I weirdly have this thing where it's like you can even go for a walk and that can feel like yoga if you're looking at the sky and the trees, the grass. I don't know. There's something weird when you've done it for so long that anywhere you are, you can kind of ground yourself in the moment that you're in. This is very weird for me, but
well, and also the other thing I was going to say is I do notice in people who have done their teacher training the deeper practice. And I do wonder if it's around the alignment that you learn to be able to teach others. And it must serve you so well. Tell me more about, on your LinkedIn, I noticed this really beautiful set of words. Brand consistency is a culture problem.
Yeah.
I think that I totally have
hot take.
Oh, yeah, hot take. Let's go. Natural genius hot takes. I completely agree from my experience. Successful projects or businesses that I've been involved in, it really is because everyone's been well educated about the brand or very aligned, like they're really well recruited to be naturally like that brand.
Yes, there's definitely that element to it. And I've definitely been in businesses where like the culture is on brand, which sounds like a strange thing to say because like the branding, a lot of the time people think is a visual thing. And I'm like, it's not just that. There's like the culture of the brand, which kind of like the people in the business will hold, but there's also the visuals of the brand. And I think, I don't know which one comes first or like, they don't always happen together, and then it's really noticeable when you go somewhere and you're like, oh, it's not all together. But if you can get the brand kind of educated through the business and everyone agrees what the brand is and what the purpose is and why we're doing it and what we're building, and we're essentially all on the same boat and we're not going off in our own different little speedboats, that's when you've got really on brand like business and culture. Like
well, I want to pick up on something you said with the speedboats, because I think it's also that if we are all aware, aligned, in an agreement with what the brand is, we can go off in our own speedboats.
Yeah, you can,
because you've got like
come back to the boat.
Oh, well, yeah, no, okay, great, I'm getting the analogy a bit better, because I think that sometimes the education means that people can take it into their own realm
and use it and be like, you're now responsible for the brand. Like, I think a lot of the time people mistakenly think that it's only the creative team that owns the brand or only the marketing team. But if everyone understands what it is, then they can have ownership of it too, and they can be empowered to use it too. And I think that's what I'm noticing in a lot of different businesses where it's like us and them. And I'm like, no, it's all of us and this brand, and we should be like protecting it and nurturing it and bringing it out to our customer or whatever it is that we're trying to do and have the same purpose for it. But it's when that's misaligned that you get all this craziness going on, like different Canvas and whatever, like people making things up and you're like, oh God.
Well, that's kind of the privilege of your clients to a degree as well. Many other bonuses of having you around, Sarah Jade, because to be able to see what's happening in other businesses, and to be able to cut through. Tell me about this efficiency piece for you, because you remind me that this is kind of a unique skill that you and I probably have, and there's only a couple of other people that I've met through the years that I can really spot this both drive and experience or real desire for efficiency. Tell me how it happens. Like, you described a template before that really cut through things. In this day with like vibe coding, with AI, both agents and also compute power, tell me how you're changing your role and what you're finding fascinating.
I think there's a lot of things claiming to be efficient and then like you do it and it's kind of doing the opposite, and you've got to like reread it and be like, hang on a minute.
Did I just stay in a loop for 3 hours? And was that really efficient?
Was that efficient? I think AI is a funny one. Creatives particularly, we don't tend to vibe it because it's just creating like a bad version of our work. So I don't think it should be used for creative purposes, but I do think it is very helpful if you're trying to like say something in a particular way. Like, I'm not a words person, I'm a visual person, and I find it really helpful to type into an AI to be like, I'm trying to say this, but like, how do I say it more in the correct professional way, if that makes sense? Like, how do I draft this email? How do I like write to this client? And it helps me because, again, I'm not the words person, and otherwise I'll sit there for hours wasting my time trying to like write it
Mm.
correctly. So if I can just do a little bit of back and forth with it and be like, great, that problem's solved for me, I can actually get back to the business of doing design. So I think there's a lot of efficiencies to be had in all the administrative work that we have as creatives in particular. So then we can just be creative.
Sorry to interrupt. Is that briefing as well? Like getting a better brief?
Yeah, I have been using it for that. Like, I've just recently made a whole presentation to brief an external agency to do the parts that like we don't do. And kind of just like jotting down my scattered creative thoughts, because they kind of go all over the place, and trying to summarize them into a way that someone else can understand was very helpful. And then it made a list for me. It was great. Like, I want all these different assets and it's this many of them, and you know, this is what we need. That's really helpful. The thing I think that is going to become like more valued in creative is like taste. Like, you can't get taste from an AI. Like, humans are still the tastemakers. Like, it's only going to be able to regurgitate things that already exist. So I think that if you're a creative and you're worried, I don't think you need to be. Like, we're fine. We still have taste, and it doesn't. So that's what's going to be employable, I think. Have a point of view and have like a taste level, and be able to articulate what that is kind of what your superpower is going to be. Yeah.
How do you develop taste in your own life there, Sarah Jade? Tell me.
I think it's just from being exposed to all different kinds of things. And I think it's, again, coming back to that curious nature, like different people, different places. Like, I obviously, because I'm a designer, I love going to like art galleries and like weird festivals, and I go to music festivals, and Dark Mofo was just on. I'm sad I didn't go to it, but I've chosen the snow this year. But something like that, I'm like, this is crazy. Who are the people that came up with this? I love this. And so it just gives you other ideas, and like, I guess like what is cool, and like what's going to connect with people. Like, it's it's the person.
I love that. I feel so fortunate. I think you're a person that meets a lot of people as well. I feel so fortunate to meet people and to be able to learn different things. When you talked about festivals, I was thinking about one in Europe that all the screens and all the like sheer enormity of it, and sometimes we don't know what inspiration comes and where
random things. Sometimes the best inspiration is the thing you're not expecting. You know, you've suddenly somewhere and there it is. Like,
tell me, I can't help but ask, did you have antennas for interesting things when you were a kid? Like, were you always interested in different things and different people?
I guess so. I grew up in Tasmania, so and then I grew up a lot on my grandparents' farm, so I was always around like animals and just like wandering off places. There was a big orchard around us, so I'd just go off on a pony in the orchard, or get my bike out and go somewhere down the creek or whatever, picking apples, and I don't know, just
wow. Which part of Tassie was this?
Huonville, so Hobart End.
Oh my gosh, I had the beautiful Michelle Crawford on, she's in that area. I think she might be Franklin now, but when I visited her years ago, she was in that area. And part of the reason I asked you where in Tassie was when you said apples. I was like, oh.
Yeah. They're all gone now, sadly. I drove down there and it's all cherries. It's weird. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, amazing. So a background in being able to wander,
yeah. I just have like these memories of just like endless days of wandering around and looking at stuff, and a lot of imagination. And yeah, I think a lot of that was encouraged. My dad is a bit of an artsy type person. He was a musician, but he can just draw things. Like, he just naturally has that ability. So I think I've got a lot from him. And I guess he kind of nurtured that, because it was really similar. We're very similar people in that sense. Yeah, I don't know. There was a lot of just like, I just have memories of just endless days of mucking around and being a pony, really.
Do you think that maybe, this is a leading question, do you think that maybe the courage that you have in life, it might have come from those times that you went off and wandered, and you might have been in all different scrapes and places. And because I wonder if you're quite courageous. I don't know whether you would see yourself that way.
I don't see myself that way, but a lot of people are like, how do you do all these things? And I'm like, I just do them. I don't know why.
Yeah, and I wonder if maybe there's different baselines, hey, in terms of courage, different. So what might be courageous to you is not necessarily to others. And
yeah, it's always interesting how you're perceived. I think it has a lot to do with being an only child, because I was always around adults. Yeah. That's
so
what I
16 so the 16 years of experience is possibly longer.
Yeah.
I think that we were joking about adulting. It's maybe you've been adulting for longer.
Adulting for far too long. Now I just need to be more silly business.
Sounds good to me. I think that we all need. It's so easy to feel like there's a heaviness going on in life, and
it needs
so
it.
nice to bring a little bit of
run around the field or something. Yeah, let's do it.
And
there was actually also there was part of the exhibition at Dark Mofo last year. There was this big illuminated sign where you walked into Dark Park, and it said "Take a knee and scream," and there are all these mats laid out. And I was like, this is amazing. I can't wait. So I like ran over there, took a knee and just screamed. It was incredible. Yeah, I think we all just
more places to be able to scream.
Yeah, I get really like jealous of little kids, like, you know, when they throw themselves on the ground and they just rip into it. And I'm like, how about it? I'd love to be able to do that sometimes. Just let it out.
Oh gosh, and not have to wait for a farm or somewhere that's
somewhere deserted. Yeah. Middle of the shopping centre. Yeah.
I mean, just have at it. A very dear friend that I was just catching up with, he's done a lot of sound recordings in different national parks. This idea of like the silent park or the different tourism around that these days is just fascinating. Being able to go into a place where no one's going to be too perturbed if you're screaming your head off.
Yeah. Encouraged.
Tell me about your aspirations these days. What are you hoping to do, or is it very much you're in the present moment sort of person?
I kind of try to be in the present moment because I just go off on tangents about what I want to do and not do. But we're about to move into what we're calling our forever home, which we bought in February. And someone's leasing it, so we'll let them lease it and then we'll move in. So we're going to move in and make that our home, and we'll have our own home office there, and we're going to make like a cat run for our 4 cats, and it's just going to be this
congratulations. How wonderful.
Very exciting. And then to add to just the overdoing it, we're getting married in February, so congratulations.
Many times over. Whoop whoop.
Yeah, so we bought the house, and then the next day Tyler proposed, so we're just like crazy people.
Oh, I love this. And I heard you say that you're going to the snow this year as well. Tell me how you're feeling about that.
First time back from the break. Not that I was doing anything cool, I was walking through the car park, so that's how that happened.
Oh my gosh, we need to make up a better story for you, but that might have needed to happen a while back.
Everyone's like, you should have just said you were doing a sick jump, and I was like, yeah, it's so lame. I was just walking and slipped. Put my hand down,
so many people talk about needing to wear wrist guards as snowboarder.
I took them off to walk through the car park like an idiot. Yeah, I always wear them. So now you'll see me wearing them all over the mountain because I'm so paranoid. But yeah, I was meant to go up a couple of weekends ago, but there was just no snow.
Just mean.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
So we're going in July now. I might see you at the lodge. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Is there anything else that you want to share? I feel like there's so many more things that we can talk about. But tell me, is there anything that you're doing creatively or in your work at the moment that you'd love to share? Anything that could help others as well?
Yeah. I mean, I guess just flippantly being like, we just started a business. Like, I guess people want to know how to do that because I'm like, how do you do that? Even I'm like, what do you do? And even as a freelancer, just being like, oh, I just started freelancing. I think that thing that you said before where you were like, oh, do you feel like you just have this courage? And hadn't really clocked that's what it is. I just am kind of like, I'll just do it. I just have this thing where I'm like, if I don't do it, then I'm going to be like wondering what would have happened if I didn't do it.
Oh,
so the fear of that is
drive. Yeah, right. I wonder if many others have that drive. That's a sweet way of looking at it.
I think that's what it is. So yeah, if you want to start freelancing as a designer, if you want to start a little micro business, I say just like get your ABN and make your little logo, make a website, start talking about it on LinkedIn. And don't be afraid to reach out to people that you know, like reach out to every person you've ever worked with. Like literally, people aren't going to be like, go away. And even if they do, then don't worry about it. Talk to the next person. Like, yeah, I think it's good to think about like, what could the worst possible thing be? Because in most cases, it's not going to be that. Like people are quite generous and kind. And I don't think that we always think that about people. Maybe we've had different things happen to us in our lives and we're just like, that's it, people aren't going to be nice. But overarchingly, if you ask someone their area of expertise, they're going to be more than happy, I find, to talk to you about it and help guide you. And that's kind of what I've done. I'm not afraid to ask for help and guidance, I guess. I don't know if that's helpful. That's how I kind of do it.
Oh, I think so. And I think you've just brought up to me that it's as simple as starting a LinkedIn page, really. I mean, you can even do your ABN once you've got your first client. So you could use your LinkedIn if you've already got connections there with work and
or even
out messages through that. Yeah.
You can start it anywhere on any platform where you've got a bit of following, even if it's your friends, because you know, people will rally around you. Like when we first like kind of officially wanted people to know that Margaret Studio existed, I just sent it out to a couple of close friends to be like, oh, can you just go and like this silly post that we've done on LinkedIn about our business? Like, you know, it's work Facebook. Please, can you just like it and write a comment or something?
Work Facebook, it's LinkedIn. I love it. Convention of words that help, that people understand.
Yeah, and people will. They'll help you. Like, and you can reciprocate and be like, you know, if you want me to like something for you or comment on something for you, then let's do that. Let's help each other. Yeah, just start it. Just try it. And don't be afraid of like making a mistake. I think a lot of us are frightened about like doing the wrong thing or like, I don't know, getting in trouble, making a mistake. We all do it. Like you learn a lot from making mistakes. So try it. And if it's not quite right, then change it. Like the best thing about digital is that it's not there forever. So you just got to keep iterating and trying things, I think, and asking people for help. And, you know, if you had a really cool manager from like 5 or 6 years ago or longer, ask them for a coffee. I've literally just done this. I've just asked someone that I worked for, I think when I was like a baby junior designer, she had her own studio and I just really liked her and I still talk to her sometimes. And I sent her a note being like, I've been meaning to message you and say, can I take you for a coffee? Can I take you for a drink, a lunch, something when you're in Melbourne? Because she's like out in the country. Because I just want to pick her brain on like what it was like when she started her studio and what are the things she'd wish she'd known, you know, like.
Oh, so clever.
So then I can kind of like use her experience and be like, okay, well, we won't do that. Like
stand on the shoulders of greats. I remember a friend that started her boutique consulting practice and she must have spent 12 grand to set it up. And it was somebody to do the logo, the brand, and a bookkeeper and an accountant and somebody to set up contracts or something. At the time I thought, that's a lot of money to start a business. She also said something that really stayed with me for a lot of years, and that was, if you can't afford a bookkeeper, then you can't afford to be in business. And it's a really bold set of words, but I think you and I both know that if you try and do everything in your business, it's not great. You need to be able to trust that others will do different pieces of the jigsaw puzzle and do them well.
Yeah, literally yesterday we asked a photographer to come and take professional photos of us because we tried to DIY it and they are terrible. They're so awkward and just badly lit and we don't have the right equipment. And it was someone that has taken a profile picture of me before, and I just reached out to her and said, would you be interested in just coming past the house and taking a picture in our in-home studio? And she was incredible and she made us feel like we were like, you know, models. Like you know, doing such a good job. And so it made us really relax. So I'm looking forward to getting those on Friday so we can start like using the content to like promote our business. But yeah, you've got to find these other experts. Like even she was like, oh, if you ever need a photographer for your business, I'm like, of course. Like we don't want it to be this huge company. We're happy for it to just be us and to be able to afford our mortgage and go on a nice holiday, you know. It's low stakes, like
low stakes.
yeah.
And being able to farm out to other people is such a lovely.
Farm out to other experts we know in the areas that aren't our areas of expertise. Of course, we're going to create that network and give other people work. The weird thing that we're finding with this, because Tyler's kind of like running with the business, doing it like as his full-time gig, because his background is like an editor and a writer, and with AI, you know, everyone just thinks they don't need one. So I'm waiting for the flip on that one. That's a different story, but he's finding that people have these little businesses, like small to medium businesses, but they can't afford a senior, like a senior writer or a senior editor, or someone to write a content plan or a marketing plan, or even like me, like someone to do their design. And they really like it if you can go there like once a week and just get to know their business and work in the business with them for the day. And you kind of embed yourself for the day and do all the stuff that needs to be done. And like he's shooting content, you know, I'm joking around like he's a content creator, but he actually is now. Like he's shooting content and filming things. So it's just interesting to me that I'm seeing this kind of flip in the way we're working, where you don't have to work somewhere full time, but you could work somewhere like once a week or twice a week. And maybe you go on site one of the days and you're at home one of the other days. And then it kind of works better with like a modern lifestyle. Like you can kind of dip in and dip out of these businesses, really get in there and embed yourself, and understand it so you can do better work for them. But you can come back out and come back to your own business and work like that. Like it's just a different lifestyle. And I think that's kind of what we're moving towards. You know, we can start our morning with like a 9:30 yoga and then, you know, get a coffee and set the day out on what we're doing.
There was a podcast guest recently and he was talking about paying yourself first. And I had heard that only really with financial aspects, like pay yourself first, give yourself a salary as a business. He was really talking about it holistically. So what's your morning routine like? Do you love a slow morning and a beautiful breakfast that makes your eyes pop out? And it's really stuck with me. I wonder if a business might actually be more efficient in a way because there's less needing to brief and like we've just got you for this day or these 2 days.
Yeah.
And just do everything that needs to happen. And so as an individual doing that role, you can get your to-do list and know what you need to do and make your own judgments around that, as well as receiving the input from others. And the other thing that came to mind was I remember a dear friend actually was an entrepreneur in residence at Deloitte. And I loved that role. I've loved seeing any kind of in residence kind of roles in different corporates over the last 10 plus years, because it feels like it's like this kind of shiny role, but also it's like you can possibly like cut through and get more done with that kind of profile.
There's something weird about that. There's at the moment there's this business that's asked Tyler to come in with his expertise around like connecting their marketing plan. They've kind of got two younger people doing, one's doing social, one's doing email on the website, and those two things don't come together, and they haven't been able to do it themselves. So they've asked him to come for 3 months once a week to just do the above work that they can't afford all the time, but it's the strategic work.
And the integration. Yeah.
It's working because he's separate and somehow he's seen as, I don't know, like someone that you'll listen to somehow, like that, that has more weight to it. Yeah.
I wonder if it's a similar kind of realm when I used to work in sort of accelerator or incubator groups within corporates. They would often be in a different location. So it was like, we need to set up this group that is fast.
Yeah.
And we don't want it to be held back by the usual speed. Sometimes I think about the gears in the gear stick in a car. And
I think that's really making me think about, you know, when a business needs to do an entire new website, and especially in retail business, it's a huge undertaking. So a lot of the time, the way they do that is they bring a whole project team in that is running alongside your, what they call a day-to-day team, but they're building the new website. So this one's still going, we're just band-aiding it. But this new one, we're getting it all correct, and there's a whole other team working on it. So that both teams don't need to be in two places in their head. And then eventually it just shifts, like one turns off and the other one turns on, and then you can keep going. Like, it's the best way to do it, because otherwise you'd never get to it. Your day-to-day team would be completely burnt out. Like, yeah, bringing an expert in for a period of time to get something else off the ground that the rest of the team doesn't have, I think that's a big win.
Beautiful. Oh, I love it. I love that we started to talk into something that helps to develop your thinking, especially because you are interested in efficiency or naturally driven to create that. Thank you so much for your time. These conversations are such a privilege, and they're so, they warm my heart and expand my heart, because there's such fascination that people have in their lives. And like we've talked about, yours is multifaceted and so fun to think of you in different brands across Australia. So next time I go to the movies at Village, I'll be thinking about Sarah Jade.
You'll see our new ad and you'll be like, yes, she made that.
I love it.
Oh, very good about being in the cinema and being like, oh, I did that.
Oh gosh, may you feel it a lot. I think that's wonderful, and I hope your team feels that a lot too. It's good to feel like you've done good work.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Go Snow team. Thank you so much for your time again.
Of course.
Thanks for listening to the Natural Genius podcast. Please share this with anyone who came to mind, and visit us at naturalgenius.com.au. Thanks so much.